This video is a video answer for a customer who sent me a question specifically on how he can alter how his remote works on his Prestige. He's telling me in this email that he sent to me, his name is Chris. So Chris is my new friend, Chris. He says, I have a Prestige APS 620N remote start. I have to press the trunk/remote start button 2 times in order to start the car. My question is if you have a different Prestige remote for the system so I don't have to press the button twice, because half the time it doesn't work. Thanks, Chris. Well, Chris, I have a good answer for your question today. You asked the right guy, because I don't know why I never thought about it, but it was a good topic and it was a good question. Even though you're not a customer of mine, I'm sure you will be today, because now I'm going to take my time and make this video and answer specifically for you, but it's also going to benefit anybody else who watches this channel who's stuck with the same kind of problem that you're experiencing. Now, here in front of me, it's not an APS 620N, but this here is it's an APS 687. Now, on this one here, it's got the 5 channels. So this is similar to what you have, except yours is a 4 button, I believe. So real quick, you got lock, unlock, you have channel 1, 2, and you have the green button. This here is the button that you're talking about that you can't stand. A lot of people have this remote. It's a very popular transmitter. A lot of people have them. And the way the remote start is typically laid out for a Prestige Audio Box Pursuit remote start system is it goes, the green button hit once, and then hold it down twice, kind of like in that speed. So it's kind of like 1, 2, and then the lights blink, goes beep, and then the car starts, and that's the way it's supposed to work. But the problem is, if you go too fast or you go too slow, it'll do one of 2 things. One, it'll go doot, 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 and let you know that you need to do it either faster or slower, or it just simply will not work at all, and that was the basis for your question. And I can understand it can be a little frustrating when your car does that to you. Definitely, I can relate to that. The good news is this. You can do what you want to do, and I can tell you how it's done. It's not done through programming. It's done through simple, basic wiring, and I actually brought a remote starter with me, and I'm going to switch the camera down and give you a close-up and explain to you exactly how it's done. It's not complicated. It's not very tedious. It's just simply you getting down, accessing your alarm module, grabbing 2 wires. I'll tell you where you can get the information if you do not have access to your manual. If you don't have the installation guide, I'm going to tell you how you can get that as well. I'm also going to share with you some information. Not only does this video pertain to just you for your Prestige system, but someone like me who has an Excalibur alarm system, I have to hit this button 2 times like this to start my car, like that. I just hit the button right there that's labeled the 3 dots to start the car. I have to hit it 2 times to shut it down. And you can see the first time I didn't get it, the second time I did get it. So again, that's why I'm making this video, for people who don't want this to be this way anymore. Now you have on here lock, you have unlock channel 2, channel 3. The chances are that, you know, like in my car, I have power trunk release, so I would hold down channel 2 for text with my trunk, and this one here I hit 2 times for remote start. And I have it set up that way, not because I like it, but because I have children in my home, and oftentimes they can grab my keys, you know, run around and do stupid stuff and, you know, start my car remotely, and I wouldn't know about it. And gas being what it is, I don't want to waste a whole lot of gas. So what I'm going to do with you is I'm going to show you is how you can use one of the extra channels, like channel 3, by holding it down for 2 seconds to do the remote start, as well as leaving it set the way it was. So if someone else uses your keys, or your wife or whoever who's accustomed to starting the car and you didn't explain to her that you've changed how the car starts, this will work in addition to how it's going to work the new way that I'm going to show you how to do it, of course. So here we go with that. Alright, now here's how this is done through wiring. Now this here is the Prestige manual for this APS 687 and my remote. So as we already spoke about, the green button 2 times is how you activate the remote start. That's not going to change. You can never change it even if you wanted to. So just with that said, so be it. Now on all Prestige remote starts, pretty much that I've ever seen, the dark blue is always going to be auxiliary channel 2. Okay, so with this wire here, you could just grab this, cut it so you have enough room, and connect it. In this particular model anyway, the 687, connect the dark blue, which is channel 2, to this wire here, which is blue with a black stripe, if you connect these two together, what's going to happen, just so you get a better idea, let me plug these in. Be a little easier for me as well. Okay, you're just going to take the blue wire, which is channel 2, which is holding down channel 1 for 1.5 seconds. When you do that, it's going to throw a ground output on this dark blue. So what you need to do is connect the dark blue to the remote start activation input wire, which all Prestige remote starters have, which is typically used. So if you have an alarm system and you're adding a remote start to the system, the way you would activate it is through this here wire. So you put these two together. When you hold down channel 2 for 1.5 seconds, it's going to throw a ground output on the dark blue, and it's going to send it directly into the activation input wire on the remote start. So all you're doing is you're tricking the starter into remote starting by using this auxiliary channel, which is built into the system already. So if that makes sense, you could do that with any other channel that you have. So if you want to do hold down channel 1 for 1.5 seconds, use a blue wire. If you wanted to use channel 2, grab that output wire from the remote start and connect that to the activation input. And that'll do the same thing, just remote starting the car utilizing channel 2. However it works, and whatever system you have, if you have a directed, if you have an Omega, Excalibur, if you have Prestige, SkyTech, CompuStar, whatever, it doesn't matter. This will work. So as long as your remote start has an external activation input to activate your remote start, all you got to do is just connect the auxiliary channel output wire from your remote starter into that, and ta-da, that's how it's done. So there you go.